Hello students. In this video, we'll see the basic concept which is related with respect to the projection of points. Projection of points is very simple, where we can analyze the position of a point with respect to the four quadrants. So in order to understand that one, so let's have four quadrants here. We'll draw with the two lines which are intersecting with each other, and so this one we say xx, and for simplicity we can say this is y and y. Okay, now here normally we say the observer will be fixed in this plane. Okay, means the observer will not change his position. Okay, so he will be observing from here. Okay, so that means like he can just move in this plane only. Okay, so means just for a simplicity we can say observer means the one who is going to see the position of a point. Okay, so now here normally we move in this way, okay, in anti-clockwise, like this and back to like this. That means to have the one indicator we have a leader, let's say here we are moving in this direction, right? Okay, so now, so this one we call it as a first quadrant, and this one we call it as a second quadrant, and this one we call it as a third quadrant, and this one we call it as a fourth quadrant. Okay, so we have four quadrants here. So normally if I take the first quadrant here, okay, so these xx and yy, we call this one as horizontal plane, that is HP, and here also it's HP. Okay, and the yy, the vertical plane VP and VP. Okay, so now once we understand these things, just we can delete this xx and yy to avoid more confusions. Okay, so now in order to have a little more clarity, what we'll do here is we'll split this line here, we'll split this line here. So this is what exactly the first quadrant which we are referring. So let me make it a little bit thick, and let me change the color of this one to the red. Okay, so this is the first quadrant. So where VP here, we have a HP here. Suppose we have a point in this quadrant. Okay, so let's say thickness of this one is 4 mm. I have a point somewhere here. Okay. Else we can even increase the thickness of this one to have a little more clarity. Say like some 10 mm. Okay, so let's change the thickness of this one, and more than that one, say like 12. Yes, now it's fine. So we'll move this point to the end of this one. Okay, so now when I see this point from here, okay, so as if like it is, I'm seeing from the front. So the front view of this line point will be visible at this junction here. Okay, so this is what exactly we refer it as a front view of the line point. Okay, so in order to see the top view, the observer now will see, move to here and will see the top view. Okay, when we see from the top, so again the same point will be visible on this point. Okay, so this is what exactly we refer it as a top view. Okay, in a very simple way. So observer is here, point is here, which is located in the first quadrant, and when you see from the front view is appearing on the VP, and when I want to see the top view of this point, I will move here and the top view will be appearing on the HP. Okay, a simple way. Now in order to just draw the first quadrant here, let me just take up only this point here. Okay, so now I have a point here, and the front view of the point will be visible on the VP here, and the top view will be appearing on the HP here. Okay, now what we can do, just for timing, we'll rotate this as HP and this as a top view, and this is our HP, and this is our VP. Okay, so the observer will be here. Okay, so now in order to locate or represent this on a sheet of paper, what we'll do here is we'll rotate this line, that is HP, 90° downward. That means here. Okay, now what happened, so the HP is moved downward, so the top view which was on HP will move down on the same way somewhere on the HP, say for example here. Okay, so now this point will vanish. The front view is here, so the front view normally we say a point is A, we'll say this is A dash, and the top view will say A. Okay, so the intersection point from where we have rotated this HP, so we'll take that one as a XY line. Okay, so this is X and this is Y. So that means in the first quadrant, the front view will be above the XY line and the top view will be below the XY line. So in the problem, they will specify this distance. What distance? It is this much is above and this much is below. Okay, that means when you come back to this position, we can see here that point is so many millimeter above the XY line. Okay, which will be seen in the front view. Okay, that is here, and so many millimeter when I see from here, it is in front of the VP. Okay, so that distance can be seen in the top view, so that is what is here. Okay, so in the first position, that is first quadrant, you can see the front view above the XY line and top view below the XY line. So that's what exactly we can generalize for the first quadrant. So means front view above XY line, top view below XY line. Okay, this is a one way. In general term we can write it, and there's a one more way what we can write here is the front view is above HP, the top view is referred as in front of VP. Okay, so both the sentence we can use in order to locate the point in the first quadrant. Okay, so similarly the observer will be here only. Now the second quadrant line will be this one. Okay, let me now change the color and the thickness like this. Okay, now this is the quadrant which we are referring. We will take a point, okay, which is located here. Okay. So now again the observer is here only. With respect to the VP and HP, we can tell this point is behind VP and above HP. So the above HP will remain as it is, but here with respect to the VP, we'll say it is a behind. Behind means so the front view will be appearing here itself, okay, and the top view will be appearing on the XY again here. Okay, so now what we can do here, the front view will remain as it is with respect to the first quadrant, and the top view here will be here. Okay, so now in order to show or represent this one on a sheet of paper, so we'll move this second quadrant. Let me just drop it here only so that we can understand the difference with respect to the quadrants. Now this is second quadrant and the observer is here only, and we add a point somewhere here, and the front view of the point will be appearing here only, and the top view of the point will be appearing here. Okay, so this is what is a VP, and this one is nothing but a HP. So now as we told in the first quadrant, we rotated the HP downward, okay, 90-degree downward. That means so this whatever the line will move upward. You can see here, okay. So when the whole line, this line is rotated, say let me show like this. When this is rotated 90-degree downward, you can see this is moving up, okay, 90-degree up. So it is coinciding with the VP. The same way here, this line is moved upward like this. That means the even the top view of the point will be on above the XY line. Okay, so now the intersection of the line will be here itself. Okay, so now this is what exactly is our X and Y. Okay, now you can see here, this is what exactly the front view is, and we moved HP upward means the top view is also coming above the XY line. So now we can just say, depending upon the distance, this whatever the top view may join or may locate somewhere here. or maybe here depending upon the distance. Okay, so now we can say in the second quadrant both the views will be above the xy line. So means top view and front view both are above xy line. Okay, and one more sentence, with respect to HP it is above, and with respect to VP it is behind. And in the previous one what we discussed in the first quadrant, okay, so with respect to the xy line we can see it is above the xy line and top view will be below the xy line as we rotate the HP downward. And with respect to the front view it is above the HP, that is with respect to HP we say it is above, and with respect to the VP we say in front, but here we'll say it's a behind. So you can check it out here with respect to this one. Okay, so that's how exactly we can locate the things with respect to the second quadrant. Now with respect to third quadrant here, this region, so if I take a point here, okay, here, oh, sorry, here, okay, so now the observer is at the same position. Now the observer is here only again, okay, this position he will move here. Okay, now if I see this one, now again it is below the HP and behind the VP. Okay, so now in order to understand this one, so we'll take up the third quadrant. Let's check out here. Okay, so now what we'll do, okay, so the point is situated somewhere here. Okay, the front view will be appearing on the VP and the top view will be appearing on the HP. Okay, so now the same usual, the HP is moved up here, this one is moved upside here. So what happened now, the top view is moved up, so the top view is moved up and the front view will remain here itself. So this is what is HP and this is what is VP. Okay, so now there is a top view which is located here and there is a front view which is located here. Okay, and it is differentiated with respect to the xy line. Yeah, so now the same way what we wrote for the first and second quadrant, if we take it here, so we can say here the front view is it is below HP. Okay, and top view is behind VP. Okay, and here we can reverse it here, the front view we write top view will be above and front view will be below. And if you look for the both here, okay, first and the third quadrant, okay, here, look for the sentence. Okay, so in the first quadrant, front view will be above HP and the top view will be in front of VP. That is front view above XY line, top view below XY line. But here you can see that front view will be below XY line, top view will be above the XY line. Means the first and third quadrant are deadly opposite. Okay, and that means like if you can remember any one, we can easily, because they are diagonally opposite. So now we have done it for a second quadrant and easily we can guess the same thing for the fourth quadrant, because the second and fourth quadrant are diagonally opposite. So now what we did for a second quadrant, we'll just see. And see, for the second quadrant we have done both the views will be above the XY line and it is above and behind the VP. But if you look for the fourth quadrant here at this position, okay, so this and this line VP and HP, we take it here, will move at this position where we can have the things with respect to the second and fourth quadrant when it comes to the end here. Okay, so we can see it here where exactly we can think of second and fourth quadrant. Now the HP is moved downward, so this point will come downward here. Okay, that means both the views, the front and top view, will come below the XY line itself. So that's how exactly we can just rotate this VP and HP. Okay, so in a simple way, so here what we can write with respect to the both the views, both the top and front view will be below the XY line, and here with respect to the HP it is below, and with respect to the VP it is behind, sorry, in front. Okay, so that's how exactly we can see the things here. Okay, so if we come back to the first one here, clearly the observer is here with respect to the first quadrant, that is this and this line. Okay, so the front view will be appearing on the BP and the top view will be appearing on the HP, and HP is moved downward means the top view will come down. Okay, so with respect to the second quadrant, the front view will be on the BP and the top view will be on HP. The HP is moved up, so that means like when we rotate this line, when we rotate this line downward, you can see the position with respect to the second quadrant is moving up. Okay, that VP and HP will be above. That is both, whenever they say like both the views are above the XY line, so without any second thought you can say it is a second quadrant, and both the views are below the XY line, you can say easily it is a fourth quadrant. And whenever we have a front view above the XY line and top view below the XY line, that means it's a first quadrant, and the reverse of that one will be a third quadrant. Okay, so that's how exactly we can understand the concept with respect to the quadrants. And if you look to the, and here we can see one problem, okay, where they will ask us to locate the quadrant. Say, state the quadrant in which the following points are located. Assume any distance. Distance is not a big matter. So they say a point A, the front view is below XY line and the top view above the XY line. Okay. So front view below the XY line, top view above the XY line. And if you see here, okay, wherever we get, okay, the front view below the XY line, okay, that is the front view below the XY line and the top view above the XY line, so that it will come in third quadrant. Okay, that means the top view will be above the XY line and the front view will be below the XY line. So now point B, the front and top view are below the XY line. So that is very simple. Whenever we say the both the views are below, it's a fourth quadrant without any second thought. Okay, so we can just look into that one where exactly we wrote the front and top view will be below the XY line. And C, front and top views are above XY line. So when we say both the views are above the XY line, this is the second quadrant. And D, front view above the XY line. So whenever we have a front view above and a top view below the XY line, so that is obviously the first quadrant. Okay, so we can easily say point to the first one. Okay, so very simple, very easy. Even if they give some distance also, so both the views will come on the same line, and you can easily locate with respect to the